Hello everyone, welcome back to Ansarkari. So we are taking up the next topic, which is the under the classical models of duopoly. So the last one under this is the Stackelberg model. So under Stackelberg, he assumed firstly that output will be adjusting in the economy instead of the prices. So output adjusts. Secondly, it is recognizing the interdependence. So this is the change. Interdependence is recognized. So far, whatever classical models we have studied, they have not factored in this particular element. So interdependence is recognized, and this would be considered while making decisions by the firms as far as the output is considered. And thirdly, no simultaneous decisions are being taken. No simultaneous decisions. It means that they're not working as collusive oligopoly. Despite recognizing the interdependence, they are not taking decisions simultaneously. Rather, it is individually, but they are recognizing or factoring in what are the changes being done by the rival. So, if we have to say what would be the outcome or the learning from this model, it states that it's advantageous for a firm to be the leader. Now, leader, we mean that as the first entrant or first player in the market, that firm is known as the leader. So it will have the advantage of deciding the output and the price. So it will lead to, in a way, maximization of its profit, and the other firm would be known as the follower. So this is, in a way, the learning or outcome of this model. So through graphical illustration, we'll further understand how the market changes are represented through the reaction curve approach. So we have one of the reaction curve of firm 1. Another one is for firm 2. So this is firm 2's reaction curve. They intersect at the equilibrium, which is E. Now we have the isoprofit curves. So this is point B. This is the isoprofit curves of firm 2 are represented. And on the reaction curve of firm 2, we will have the isoprofit curves of firm 1. So this is point A. And can draw line on both the axes, which represents the price of firm 2. And here, this is for firm 1, represented as dash. This can be firm 1 and correspondingly firm 2 price. So in this case, these are, since the isoprofit curves. So what are the isoprofit curves, or we can say the reaction curves are representing? So reaction curves, they are representing the locus of the points, which are denoting the highest profit points of each firm, given we see that the output of the other firm, it remains unchanged, and that is also considered by that particular firm. So this is what the, you can say, the reaction curve are representing. So how it works, let's suppose again firm 1 is the first one to enter the market, and it will produce according to its own reaction curve, which we have plotted, and it will allow firm 1 to produce at monopoly output and the prices. In a way, this leads to its profit maximization, because this is only the single player in the market. So it has that opportunity to produce at monopoly price and the output. And the equilibrium or the profit maximization point of firm 1 is represented by this point A. This point represents the equilibrium because its isoprofit curves, you can see they are the most nearest to the x-axis, which is denoting the the output of firm 1. So instead of the price, it would be the output of firm 2 here. This is for firm 1. So this is representing, since the isoprofit curves of the firm 1 are closest. So you can see that at this point, the quantity of firm 1 is way beyond, the difference between the quantity of firm 1 and firm 2 is a lot. So that is why firm 1 has the opportunity, being a leader, to maximize its profit at this point. So this is one simple way of understanding. Now this leads to two issues. One is the followers problem and another is the leaders problem. So leaders problem, if we understand what do we mean by this. So there's a firm which is the leader in the market. It is deciding the output and the prices. Now what problems or challenges it can face? See, it decides the price in the output. Now we are not certain about what is going to be the reaction of the follower firm. Reaction of follower is uncertain. Second, the time lag is again uncertain. At what point of time and what is going to be the nature of reaction of the follower is again another challenge. And if the leader is setting a price which is very higher for the follower firm, the chances of undercutting increases. Chances of undercutting the price increases. So that is also a challenge. And all these three factors together will be impacting the profits of the leader firm. That is why it is a problem for the leader. And another is the followers problem. So followers problem, again, what can be the problems or types of problems can be faced by the follower, which is following the leader of the market. So for followers, since it has to follow the price in the output, which would be given by the leader, so how it is going to impact its profit, impact on profits, because that is not under the control of the follower firm. And second, we can say what changes would be made by the leader is one thing, and again at what time. So what and when element, when the changes would be made and what changes would be made by the leader is another concern by the follower. So there is again uncertainty about these two factors. If we try to understand this with an example, so we can say initially when the electric vehicles industry is in the nascent stages in India, so there were few firms who were manufacturing the electric vehicles. Now we saw that Mahindra and Mahindra, suppose it has launched a new model of a car which is better priced. So they have set the prices low, which is attracting new buyers. And this has led to already the firm which was there, we can say that it is a leader firm. Now they are, we can say, offering the cars and the models at discounts. So this change has happened. So this can be one of the way of understanding the leader and the follower. Another, we can also talk about the smartphone industry. For example, the two major players, Samsung versus Apple. So in case of Samsung, we have seen non-price competition in the form of the design of the phones being manufactured and launched by Samsung. So you can say that Apple being the leader, Samsung being the follower, it decided to go ahead with the non-price competition and somewhere making little bit changes in its design, and almost they're appearing similar to those of the smartphones manufactured by Apple. So this is also somewhere attracted the, we can say, the buyers towards the Samsung also. So this is all about this model of Stackelberg. Now we move on to the Chamberlin model. So in case of Chamberlin, this is, we can say, the most practical and the most flexible model under the oligopoly. They are recognizing the interdependence. So these are the only two models which recognize interdependence, and also the firms are learning from each other. They learn from each other's decisions basically related to price and output. So this learning factor was missing in the Stackelberg model. And because of this behavior, learning behavior by the number of firms which are present in the market, they're able to jointly, this is happening naturally, they're able to jointly maximize their profits, although they are not working as the collusive oligopoly. In a non-collusive manner, they are working jointly to maximize their profits. So let's understand this again through graph. So we will see some similarities and comparisons with the Cournots model. If you remember, the graph is also somewhere similar to that under the Cournot model that we studied before. So this is the demand curve of the leader firm. This is the marginal revenue of firm 1. So correspondingly, we draw the price. This is the monopoly price in the market. This is the monopoly output. Now, ED section is the demand curve for second firm. Correspondingly, it's marginal revenue curve for the second firm. This, let's say, is L. This would be another case of production. This is suppose price P dash. This can be labeled as T, and one more point we can draw is this. So we understand it's working. So as under the Cournots model, we'll see that only one firm first enters the market. Suppose firm A, or we can say firm 1 is entering, and it decides to produce OQM level of output, because again it is the only single player. So obviously it will try to maximize its profit, which is at the monopoly level of output. So this is monopoly level of output, and monopoly level of prices, price OPM. So the profit at this level would be area of OQM EPM. Now when, okay, so OQM is also, we can say, it is half of the total output that can be produced is OD. Now, second firm enters the market. Now, given that interdependency is recognized, the firm is learning. So, B will assume that firm A will be producing at OQM. Now, it decides it will produce QML, which is again half of QM D level of output. So here you can see now the joint or the aggregate output of both the firms would be OQM was by A and B is producing QML. So it gives total of OL. So OL, we can see the price is OP dash, and this you can see is clearly lower than the monopoly price of OPM. So profits of firm A has now reduced, and it is represented by this particular area for firm A, and this is for firm B, the profits. Now we say that this is a learning model. So the turn of decision making by firm A, now it learns that since its profit has fallen, now what are the options available to it to again maximize its profit, which was happening at the monopoly price level. So it is producing this level now, and firm B is producing this much. So given firm B is producing QML, now A will produce half of OQM, which is OH. So now we can say that if we see the aggregate output now turns out to be at OQM again, because firm A is deciding to produce only this much. B was producing this level already. So this is, we can say it was half as we just saw. So OH plus QML gives us OQM again. And this we say, we initially saw this is the monopoly level of output. Again, this price level is achieved. So this is, we can say, they are again able to jointly maximize their profits by producing at OQM level of output. So this is how they learn, and even after this change by A, B will, it will not change, and it will continue to produce the same level of the QML level of output, because it has realized that we are, both the players are able to maximize the profits, and they will equally divide the profit amongst both the players. Now, critique is, you can see that it is a closed model. We have analyzed only two players in the market. So what if a new firm enters the market, because they are making monopoly profits? So this will attract new firms. New firms enter, supply will increase, their share of the market demand that they were earlier catering to will reduce. So this will also reduce their profit share. So this has been ignored in this model. Now, lastly, we see, now this is not under the classical model, but it is related to collusive oligopoly model. So this is the Bain's theory of limit pricing. So the name itself is giving us the indication that it is talking about limit pricing. So how limit pricing is working, and why do we say it to be the limit price? So one clear idea, the idea which Bains stated, is that the pricing which is decided by the firm in the market is also determined by one of the factors which has so far been ignored by all the theories that we have understood, which is that the price would also be decided by the potential new entrants in the market, because it is stated that this act as a threat for the already existing firms in the market. Why it is a threat? Because if we suppose a new firm enters again, so it will increase the supply increases. So already existing firms, their share of demand that they are catering or the production will fall. This will reduce their profit, and they will not want to reduce their profit. That is why it acts as a threat for the already existing firms in the market. That is why the price that would be determined will be called the limit price. So this is one simple thing, and also another name for this is entry preventing pricing theory, because we want to prevent the entry of new firms. Now we'll understand this further. So we'll just go through the assumptions before understanding the graph. So we see homogeneous products. They are produced. Second, we see the firms, they decide that they will maximize the profits in long run. And why not in short run? Because if they try, or if they aim to maximize the profits in the short run, this will again give, we can say, an extra time window for other firms or the potential entrants to enter the market, because of the chances of making profits. And in a way, this will again suppress the share of profits of the already firms which are working or which are producing in the market. So they aim to maximize profits in the long run. And this is, we are studying under the collusive oligopoly model. So given these are the assumptions, we can just go through what factors are there which determine the limit price. This is again the symbol for this. So factors, one would be, what is the cost of the potential entrants, because this will be determining the limit pricing that we will understand further through the graph. So this is taken into consideration. Second, price elasticity of demand. This is also one of the important factors. Price elasticity of demand of the goods that are being produced. Then the size of the market, that will also determine what is going to be the limit price. Then already, what are the number of established firms in the industry, and then the long run average cost of production. So all these factors combined together will be determining the limit price in the market. So now we'll draw the graph for this. And we have the price, the output. So let's suppose this is the demand curve, DD dash, corresponding is the marginal revenue curve. This is the long run average cost of the established firm. So EF means established firms, and this is the long run average cost curve of the potential entrants firm who can enter the market, but they're still watching from the outside, we can say. So this becomes one the equilibrium condition. So this is point H. Now this is the monopoly price, because you can see at this point MR and the LSE is equal. So LSE is also representing the marginal cost, and the equilibrium condition is marginal revenue equals the marginal cost. So this point of intersection, point E, is the equilibrium point. Here you can see corresponding price OPM is the monopoly price of the first entrant in the market. So this point, so this is point H. This is Q2, let's say this is Q1. And the point from here, this is elasticity equal to 1. So this, the section below it would be representing, like this particular section would be representing elasticity is less than 1. And the section above would be representing elasticity is greater than 1. So we'll understand this also. This also has significance here. And here you can say when elasticity is less than 1, you will always see marginal revenue will be negative. So this is less than 1. Let's say this is J, this is C1, and this is the limit price equal to C2 also. This can be labeled as G point. This can be, say, B point. Now, if we understand the working here, we'll see, like for profit maximization, initially the firm will be producing at this equilibrium point, point E, where you can see monopoly prices set, and it will be able to maximize its profit given the equilibrium condition is marginal revenue equals the marginal cost. Now you will see that PM is price which is higher than the long run average cost curve of the potential entrants. So even they have a margin of production which can earn them profits in the market once they enter the industry. So they will, we can say they will enter, or this condition will attract the potential entrants which we do not want. So OPM cannot be the limit price, because we want to set a limit price so that new firms will not enter. So this condition is ruled out. Now here we see that if, let's suppose we say that the limit price or the price, if we set it at the LAC of potential entrants, that is this point we are talking about up till this level. So this we can say, since it is exactly same as the long run average cost of the potential entrants, we see if they decide to enter the market, they will supply more. So if they supply more, price is going to fall further down from this particular level, which will end up, we can say that the potential new entrants will end up making losses if they enter at this particular price level. Hence they decide not to enter and not to enter the industry, and this becomes the limit price. So that is one of the mechanisms of deciding this. And at this point, you can see at limit price, the profits that would be made would be given by the area OC2 A Q2. So this is the area of this region will give us the profits being made. So we have decided how the limit prices will be determined in the market. Now there is one subsection under this, that why the oligopolist, they will continue, or if we see that a price, suppose OJ is set, they will still continue to produce despite the price being at a level where we see that elasticity, price elasticity of demand is less than 1, where marginal revenue is also negative at this point at OJ level. Now the reason is that you can see that the cost of firm or the existing firms is at OC1 level, and the price is OJ, which is higher than their average cost, longer and average cost. So they will go ahead with the production because still they are making profits. But this price level, you can say, is clearly below the average cost of the potential entrants. So they will not enter because it will, we can say that this is a condition for the loss for the potential entrants. So this is one thing. And apart from this, we can say that if OJ is also equal to the monopoly price also, will the entrant, the already existing firms, will they again set OJ as the monopoly price? Because here we saw that this monopoly price will not act as the limiting price. But if the monopoly price is at OJ level, the firm will decide to produce at this monopoly price because the reason is same, that it is lower than the cost of the potential entrants in the market or the industry. So they will charge the monopoly price, and this is the best scenario situation for them because this is the maximum level of profits that they can make at the monopoly price, and also the output is less at the monopoly prices. So that's how we say that the limiting pricing theory works. And here we complete with all the different theories and models which are under the oligopoly market. So thank you everyone for joining us on Ansarkari. Stay tuned for further detailed sessions with us related to, again, the next topic is going to be the market structure itself. So we'll start with the monopolistic competition.